trying to job on the markets there. So look, bonds are the most horrible investment I've ever seen still. And they've lost in the last month 10% of their value in the long end. Okay. And they have another 20% of value to lose if the Fed sticks to their plan. The good news is I don't think the Fed can stick to their plan, which means QE infinity, which means any reason that you would buy bonds here, you have twice the reason to buy Bitcoin, because anything that'll float the bond back on side will be twice as impactful to the Bitcoin price, in my opinion, because that's what Bitcoin is. It is credit protection against infinite printing by the Fed. And guess what? The equity markets are begging for infinite printing. And who owns the pensions of the common American? Well, the voters. And if they all of a sudden see that their pension plans are unfunded or underfunded because the equity markets have just lost 22% in the first quarter, the worst start ever in history of the NASDAQ, okay? 22% down in the first quarter. If you're a pensioner and you call up your local congressman and you're like, I was counting on retiring and now my pension plan isn't fully funded. What the absolute F? This is after one rate hike. The economy shrank last quarter. It shrank.
Bitcoin has made headlines over and over again.
Say that again. It shrank. Okay? And yet the global fiat debt Ponzi did nothing but explode bigger, which means your tax base got worse because the economy shrank, and your debt burden got bigger because of the interest coupon on the debt. Pure mathematics. All fiats are debasing. It's just a race to the bottom. The US will be one of the last currencies to fail, but ultimately all fiat currencies fail. Canada will fail before the United States. That doesn't make me happy. If Canada adopts the Bitcoin standard before the US does, it would make me so happy because it would be Canada's insurance policy. I don't want the USA to fail. I love the country. I've been to school there. You guys know that story. I love the USA as a bastion of freedom. We need to develop a parallel network. It is called Bitcoin, okay? Why, though, do we have people that talk down Bitcoin? The Gary Blacks of the world, an equity clown that came out of Goldman Sachs without understanding credit, who talks down Bitcoin as a long duration tech stock, essentially. Do you think Gary might be short Bitcoin? Do you think Gary might be the guy that's trying to hedge his foolish equity positions with Bitcoin and trying to tell the algos in New York City, hey man, you got to trade this against Bitcoin, because, it's a long duration tech stock. So they program their computers to help Gary Black's thesis come to fruition. The problem is he spent 0 time studying credit, okay? Credit makes the world go round. Credit is why inflation is necessary in a capitalist system, because credit leveraging means the collateral that you've lent money against. As long as there's inflation, the value of that collateral increases and you can leverage that capital. As you know, a bank holds less than $6 of equity absorbing risk capital against a $100 loan. The other $94 comes from depositors' money. So when the CFO of one of Canada's largest institution and one of the top 20 banks in the world says, don't tell anybody, that better open your friggin' eyes. And it did to me in 1988. And I finally found Bitcoin for being what it is. An insurance contract on the fiat Ponzi that starts with banking. It extends to CFOs that don't want you to tell anybody, and it extends to risk managers in Omaha, Nebraska that own all the bank stocks and therefore don't want you to buy your insurance, so they call it evil.
To watch the full interview, check out the link in